Say, what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a pro violation. Yard down. Now, you already know what time it is today, man. It's Free Game Friday, man. And so what I like to do on these Free Game Friday segments is I like to just try to slide through and impose a little bit of wisdom if I can with individuals that's out there in the street, man. Just like some of my older homies used to do when I was out there in the streets, hustling, selling drugs, running around. And the whole purpose of those dudes trying to come through and give us some wisdom was for the most important reason was to try to help us move smarter. Equally important was to eventually get us to try to make a transition up out of the streets, man, because I done been to the pen for a long time, man. I was in the streets doing this and that, and I understand that for some individuals, hearing those stories and stuff, that fast money, that stuff can be intriguing. But we also got to keep in mind there's definitely another side to that you don't hear a lot of individuals talk about, man. And those are, the pitfalls of hustling, going to jail, dying young, disappointing people and stuff like that. So that's what I come to do on these Free Game Fridays, man. Try to impart a little wisdom, man. And so what I want to talk about today, man, is your conduct in the street. Because like I said, regardless of what I may say, regardless of how much I preach against being in the street, some people just ain't going to get out the street. And, especially when you're young, you're running around, you don't necessarily want to hear an individual telling you, the streets is not the way, especially when you feel that that's the only means you got to get bread, But the bad part about that is sometimes that may be true due to your situation. You can't get a job or whatever, but then we lose sight of why we got into the streets. Once the money starts to come, once the money starts to flow, we lose sight of the fact that now we are able to make moves and transitions out of the hood, but the money didn't got so good. We've lost sight of that. Now we just focus on the money, Now we just tunnel vision due to the bread that's coming in. But like I said, my point of talking about this here was just the conduct, man. We already got a strike or two against us because we're out there in the street and we're doing things that's illegal. So we already got the police, looking out for us. And we got to every day we got to beat the police. They only got to catch us doing dirt one time and we go to jail. We also got the jack boys out there, the dudes that's jealous, trying to get us for our bread. We also got the jealous females that want to set us up. So it's already a lot of we already got a lot of strikes. We already got a lot of strikes against us to begin with, just by being out there in the street, especially if you getting paper, you having money, you in that nice car, you definitely gonna want to have some people who gonna want to try to relieve you of the things that you have accumulated, the quick, easy way with that pistol. So like I said, not only do we have to watch out and be aware of those things, we've also got to be aware of our conduct, man. And you have a lot of people say that there's no longer rules in the streets, but that's not necessarily true, man. When you're out there in the street, it has to be up to you, man, how you move and who you have around. Who you have around you. And what I'm saying is this right here, man. Like I say, selling dope, that stuff is already bad enough. Being out there in the street, you already got a lot of elements you got to watch out for. So when you also out there in the street and you moving foul, man, you robbing people, you jacking people, you selling people bad dope, you doing things that's definitely gonna get you eventually caught up, and then you'll have some people that's gonna say, well, damn, man, karma just caught up to him. No, it wasn't karma that caught up to him. It was them dudes that you robbed that caught up to you. It was them dudes that you sold the bad dope that caught up to you. So when you out there doing negative things, you are setting into motion a chain of events. Because let's look at it like this, I know a lot of people who are out there in the street, they see themselves as real individuals, real gangsters, real thugs, real goons, whatever you want to term, whatever term you would like to use, to identify yourself. But if someone was to come up to you, man, and rob you for your drugs, or rob you at gunpoint and take your pistol, or do something like that, are you gonna go for that? Are you just gonna sit back and let that happen? So why would you go out there and perpetrate that same act on another individual and think that it's just gonna let him go? And think that he is just gonna let that go, man. So that's what I was saying. When we do things like that, we are putting into motion a chain of negative events to come, man. And when we know that when we out there hustling, we start doing these foul type of situations now that a lot of individuals condone. You start getting a name and a reputation for this. So it may not necessarily be the people that you rob who catch up with you. It may be some other people who've heard that this dude is foul. Go ahead and knock him down, man. I was taught when I was out there hustling, man, the whole part of the game, and I lost sight of that myself also, the whole part of the game, though, is to get in and get out, man. Get in, stack your bread, do what you got to do, have you a plan, get in and get out. The longer you play in the streets, the more risk you take. But it's sad also, not only the more risk you take, but the more we become immune to the danger. The more we begin to feel that we're untouchable because we've done it for so long. If you going up in a store stealing, and you done stole 10 times from the store, you feel the 11th time is going to be easy because you done it so many times before. And so that's just the connection and the correlation that I'm trying to make between the longer we're hustling, the longer we're out here doing this stuff, the longer we feel we can get away with it. But as I said, we only have to get caught one time. The police only have to be on their A game one time. The jack boy only has to be on his A game one time for us to get caught slipping, and then who knows how that's going to turn out. And so also, man, if you got homeboys that's out there, doing wrong, jacking dudes, robbing dudes, why would you want an individual like that around you? Don't let this dude's actions get you caught up, because you already know, especially in this day and age, when they run across him, if you happen to be with him, they not giving you no pass. So that's part of the thing, man, that when we out there in the street, that's one important rule about helping us transition up out of the streets, man, is being a man, coming into your own, and having a upstanding conduct, but also being able to tell your homeboy, man, hey, listen, man, what you doing is wrong, man. If this dude come to you with some bread, y'all supposed to be making a transaction for you to whip out, draw down on him, take the man's bread, don't give him what he want. That's wrong. And not only is that wrong, now by you hanging with me, you putting me in danger. And a lot of times I know we feel as homeboys, we feel the necessity to go along with what our other homeboys is doing to condone their faultiness and their foulness, because we don't want to seem not a part of what's going on, man. But like I say, we also got to keep in mind, man, we only got one life to live. And when you running around doing wrong, eventually it's going to catch up to you. Some people going to call it karma. I'm going to call it them dudes that you out there doing wrong to is going to catch up to you, because now they looking for you. Of course, we got the social media, which definitely amplifies everything that's going on. Dudes is on social media talking about, hey, man, this dude doing this dude doing that. And so, like I said, what it does is it puts into motion a negative chain of events that's eventually going to catch up with you, man. So, being in the street, man, you also have to be a man, because you're going to do that time by yourself. Unfortunately, if they catch you slipping, you're going to die by yourself, man. And that's one of the things that I had to learn when I was in the penitentiary, man, is to speak up. Because when I felt something wasn't right, in the event I rode and got myself involved in a situation in a physical type of way, had I got caught, I was going to be the one in the hole. Having my program inconvenienced. I was going to be the one sitting in the hole, missing my visits, unable to get on the phone, talk to my loved ones, unable to get the packages and share the few small things that did make life in prison a little more bearable. So it took me a while, but I had to learn to speak up, man, because it's a lot of lost souls in the pen, and also on the street, man. It's a lot of individuals who just go along to get along, man. But when you do that, you slowly but surely lose your voice. And so one of the things, man, is about, being a leader, man, stepping up. If you out there in the street and you're doing something illegal, you still can be doing things right as far as the rules of the street go, man. So try to be upstanding in your conduct, man. Try to, be on the up and up. And that's not necessarily going to always afford you an easy pass through through the street life, or afford you a path without getting touched and having bumps and bruises, or even something bad happened to you that you didn't necessarily cause, but it may increase your chances of surviving. And that's the thing I'm trying to get y'all to see, man. I know today it's real cool now to run off on the plug, do foul type of stuff. Like back in my day, man, I might see my homeboy walking. He may have dropped $500, $600 worth of dope. I pick it up and give it back to him, because you can't miss what you ain't never had. And if that's your real homeboy, why would you want to get him? If that's your real homeboy, he might turn around and just give you $50 and say, hey man, good looking out. Or he may not, because that was his anyway. And those are the things that real homeboys do, man. And so believe me, when you running around doing foul stuff, if you got an individual that's doing foul stuff or whatever, the second you slip, if you got an individual that's around you doing foul stuff, the second you slip, if the temptation is great enough and the profit is big enough, he's gonna get you too, man. And that's the thing that's the thing that you gotta realize, and we gotta think about, man. If a person is out there and he lacks morals, the second you show him something that's a temptation to him, then there goes his friendship, there goes his loyalty to you, and he's either gonna rob you or he's possibly gonna set you up. Put your business out there, man. And it's like that. I knew a couple dudes in the pen, man, who said that they would be around individuals. They would be around some of their so-called friends, man. And once they get the balling too tough, they may not rob them themselves personally, but they'd set them up. They'd send someone over there to get them and jack them or whatever. So I'm saying that, man, the second you detect the individual, why would you, who is on that page, why would you want an individual like that in your company, man? And so I'm just trying to give y'all a little something to think about, man, that if you're going to be out there doing these illegal things, those are already strikes against you, man. Try to move with the most upstanding conduct that you can permitted in the streets. Now, I know there's times when you may have to get cracking due to the circumstances, and that's what I'm not trying. I'm not trying to say don't get cracking if someone forces your hand. I'm trying to say though, you can't enjoy your money in the pen, and you definitely can't enjoy your money in jail, man. So it's all about thinking wisely, man, trying to move smarter so eventually we can move up out of these streets. So that's what it is, man. Y'all already know it's your boy 16 to life, man. Soak that free game up. Resume normal program.